There are curious streets shaped in various fashions around the little white house. Take a street map, check those streets, you'll find actual signs of the planets for Uranus, Neptune, all around the White House, hidden in the streets. My wife was doing some research, and she found a little group called the Society for Endangered Species. She told me it was located on Pennsylvania Avenue. So twice when I was in Washington, D.C., I looked for this little office where this Society for Endangered Species was headquartered. I had the hardest time finding it. This is on Pennsylvania, but note at the end of the street is the Capitol. It's not in the Federal Triangle looking up towards the Capitol. It is beyond the Federal Triangle. In other words, the Capitol blocks this part of Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania picks up on the other side. So I finally found this building on Pennsylvania Avenue. I didn't go up to the offices. I just wanted a photograph, and of course I wanted a photograph of the street address. Please note the word Pennsylvania, and here's that big infamous number popping up again. Here's their back door. You couldn't see the Pennsylvania with the other photograph because of the trees, but then I asked how many facts running concurrently with the same words and the same numbers, how many do we need to make it a conspiracy? Do we need 100 examples? Do we need 500? Now you know why I have 1 million ads at my home. There's a favorite number that appears all over Washington, D.C. Here's a bank. Maybe it's a coincidence. I'm not critiquing this bank. I just wonder why people would purchase a building that even had this number in the address. I think I'd take the one next door. Now, in Washington, D.C., there's a lot of pressure. What do people do for pressure? Well, they love to go out to a movie. So here's the theater where most people go in Washington, D.C. when they're wanting to unwind, they're wanting that release, they want to get away from reality for just a little bit and unwind. The name of it is the Janus Building. I've been reading Alexander Hislop's monumental book, The Two Babylons, for 30-some years. If you'll look in the index, you'll see that the term Janus was always associated with the number 666. But of course, this could be just one huge cosmic coincidence. You'll have to forgive me. I think I have a transparency out of place. I've been traveling a lot this week. I don't even know how that one got in there. Okay. Here's an old ad, 40 years old, from Life magazine. It's the American Railroads. And please note, someone is communicating with someone else. Someone knows how to communicate in a quick symbol, just a couple of words. I think we have a speaker coming up on the Prophecy Club tour that will be on this subject because he is an authority. But quickly, I would like to show you some things I've noticed. This is Indianapolis. This is the Masonic Lodge. I came across it at nighttime. Someone sent me down there. It looked like something out of 1001 Arabian Nights. People fly in from all over the world to view the architecture. If you go to Alexandria, Virginia, you will note this building. This is called the Masonic Memorial to George Washington. It's a very interesting building. I've been inside. You can go to the top. It's built in an incredible manner. It's a great building. Please, the next time you're in Alexandria, please go inside this building, the Masonic Memorial to George Washington. Of course, it just happens to be 333 feet tall. Now, in Washington, D.C., there's only one statue of a Confederate war general. This is that Confederate war general. His name is Albert Pike. A little research will show that Albert Pike was the founder of the Scottish Rite, the southern jurisdiction of Freemasonry. He was also one of the 3 men who founded the Ku Klux Klan after the Civil War because he was a Confederate war general. I could expound on this subject. I'll leave it to other speakers. Yes, there is evidence he was a Satanist. I had to take that photograph over the top of the police cars because this building to the right is the Justice Department. I wonder where they plan to place things. Does anyone do any research anymore? This is the building where all the high masons, your politicians from either party, meet on Albert Pike's birthday. This is the House of the Temple in Washington, D.C. All politicians appear there on Albert Pike's birthday, and they shake hands and pat each other on the shoulder, and you still think they're both arguing with each other, correct? It's called thesis, antithesis, synthesis. It's all created for control. Please notice the street address. When you go there, notice it is 1733. I wonder how much manipulation, how much bargaining has to be done to make sure you get a street address that has the right number. Yes, that is a Sphinx. Let's study this building a little more. Notice when you go in the entrance, high above, there is some very detailed artwork outside the building. You may not be able to tell, you may not be able to examine it at first glance, so we'll take a little close-up to the left and right. Notice that was a serpent. Again, if you were a good student, you had been reading Alexander Hislop's book, The Two Babylons. Please note, I will repeat it, it's in the top 10 Christian books of all time. He has a woodcut drawing about the twin serpents. Remember, I told you, make a note about the red circle, the red O. It deals with sun worship. You will see the rays of the sun coming out. There's much more symbolism. They have the double-headed eagle. But let's move on. Here are some transparencies of a place you've already heard about. There's that great Masonic symbol, the compass and the square. This is Denver International Airport. The next time you're going through, please take some time to look around. Now, a lot of people have seen these mysterious murals on the wall. If you'll be patient, I'll show you something beyond the murals. There must be a lot of significance. There must be a lot of symbolism. Why does this gal have a cross? I've stood there for hours with people who are trying to figure out the symbolism in these strange murals at the Denver International Airport. I think it would take someone well-versed in clinical psychology to even make inroads trying to figure out what in the world do these murals represent. These are very well known. You can even bring them up on the internet if you want to study some of these pictures yourself. But I decided to look around a little further. And when I looked around downstairs where they load the luggage, I found two curious creatures high up on a post. Here's one. He's in a suitcase. There's a plaque for him. He also has a companion on the other side of the building. They are both located in the International Airport. The next time you're there, please go downstairs. Please take a look around, because there's much, much symbolism. I talked to a lady who grew up there. She used to ride horses there. It was her home place. She gave me first-hand information about a lot of underground dwellings, a lot of land that had been manipulated. Please check out the International Airport. Not only is there symbolism at the International Airport in Denver, there's symbolism all over the USA if you just knew what to look for and knew how to analyze on your own. There are a lot of people have seen or heard about the Council of Foreign Relations located in New York, usually abbreviated as CFR. A lot of research has been done, a lot of names have been named, people in government, people on the news, and so this seems to be a hotbed for some type of inner workings in New York. So I wouldn't just merely go up to take a photograph. I always have to go looking around. Please don't tell them what type of car I drive. That's me sitting in the Bronco. My photographer's across the street. I don't want them to know when I show up. So please note very carefully, the building to your right is the CFR. It's the side of the Council of Foreign Relations in New York. At the bottom, there seems to be two doors that look almost identical. One door